Hey, Chef Billy Parisi here with Heinen's Grocery Stores. Thanks so much for stopping in today. I've got an incredibly easy to make recipe that's absolutely delicious and that the whole family will love. I'm gonna show you how to make baked spaghetti. We're gonna top it off with mozzarella cheese. It's gonna be incredible. This recipe is completely malleable. You can customize it to make it work for you, what you have in the house, and what's available at the store. So to start, I want to beef up this recipe a little bit and make almost like a bolognese. To do that, I'm going to add some onions, celery, carrots, and a few garlic cloves to a food processor. I want to pulse it until it's to a very fine chop. You can absolutely do this by hand as well if you don't have a food processor, no problem. Once it is to this perfect consistency, I'm going to take that, head over to my cooktop, and in a very large pot, I'm gonna add in just a little bit of olive oil. And like I said, I wanna beef this up, so that's exactly what I'm gonna add in, is some ground beef to this pot. We wanna cook it until it's browned and completely cooked through, which really only takes about 6 to 7 minutes over medium heat. Once it is to this consistency, let's add in that finely chopped onion, celery, carrots, and garlic. What we want to do now is sort of stew this over low heat for about 10 to 12 minutes. We want to remove that bite from the onions and garlic and make sure it's really flavorful. All right, this looks excellent, and let me stop and say this. Now is when you want to add in your tomatoes. There are a couple options you can do. Maybe you have just a Heinen's marinara sauce or another can of marinara sauce, or even a can of crushed tomatoes. Use what you have here, it will still be amazing. We're gonna pour those in and stir it in and adjust the seasonings with salt and pepper. Most of the time, the made marinara sauce is already nice and salty. It's perfectly seasoned, no need to do it, but just give it a little try. Make sure it's good. We're gonna simmer this over low heat, and in the meantime, we're gonna cook our spaghetti. So in a large pot of boiling water, we are gonna season it up with salt, and I was always told that it should taste like the ocean. Let's add in our spaghetti. Takes about 8 to 10 minutes to cook while boiling. We're gonna move it around, make sure nothing is sticking. And then at this point, what we need to do is bring everything together. So head back over to your countertop. I'm gonna transfer the spaghetti into a large cast iron skillet. If you have a 13x9 casserole dish, that works perfect as well. Now let's ladle in a few bits of the sauce. Toss it together using some tongs or a spoon. And then what I'm gonna do is top it off with some shredded mozzarella cheese. It's going in the oven on 375 degrees. It's gonna take in between 20 to 25 minutes for the cheese to be nice and melty and for it to be perfectly golden brown. And let me stop and say this, I have plenty of extra sauce. And this is my own personal opinion, but when I'm making sauces like this, I make enough that I can freeze for another date that I can just pull it out, toss with spaghetti, and boom, I'm done. So just remember, when you're making this, you're only gonna need about half the amount of sauce. The other half is for the freezer, and you're welcome. Now let's take back out that spaghetti and have a look. Absolutely gorgeous, nice and crispy golden brown and melted. Just gonna finish it off with a little fresh chopped basil. Such an incredibly easy to make recipe. And also, let me just say this, if you only have penne or linguine or fettuccine noodles, use that. It will taste the exact same and be incredible. I've got a lot to eat. See you next time.